Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. And that is Josiah in the background. So I'm doing something different. I'm doing my live stream a little bit later on in the afternoon, um, which means he is awake and he is going to be noisy. So pardon his noise. Pardon if he cries. Pardon all that stuff. This is Samantha here at Samantha Reacts, and I'm back doing a live stream. I haven't been able to do it for a couple months. From just being busy to relocating. It's been a little, I've been missing the action. Let me just say that. Hopefully I get to be able to put out more videos out, more shorts out in the upcoming weeks. Let's see here. Yeah, I didn't even properly set this up, so I don't even know if someone is live. Hopefully you can hear me. I know you hear him. He's playing with his wagon right now, so yeah, you hear all that, right? Yep. The life of motherhood of a 2-year-old who does live streams. You get all that. You get all that's what I'm looking for. I think. I don't know. I think I just messed up, y'all. We'll see. Let's see. Hopefully, hopefully you can see this. Somebody can see this. Let me know if you can see this. If you are with me, can you hear me? Hopefully. Again, I just need to do better and have this much more prepared than what I do now. That's I forgot. I really forgot how to do this. Anywho, so it's a lot to recap. I'm not going to sit here and recap. But I am also going to talk about The Last of Us. Now, I'm going to talk about everything. So, of course, if you haven't watched the show whatsoever, definitely turn away. But or what's the word? What's the actual word they use? Spoiler alert. I'm going to spoil the episode. So if you haven't watched it, log off. Log off my live. Unless you don't care. I mean, I'm just giving my perception of things of this show. So this show was or is based off a game, video game. I did not play the game. So I guess my thoughts about this whole entire series, these 9 episodes, is based off a non-gamer's perspective. So yeah, with that said, The Last of Us. When I first heard of this, I was like, what is this? The Last of Us? Oh god, not another zombie crap zombie crap TV show that's a video game. That's the first thing that came in my head. Another zombie type video game TV show. And I'm not a big fan of The Walking Dead. So I pretty much was already judging it before I saw it. Um, but this kind of surprised me. This show kind of surprised me. And so from what I heard from people, of course, who played the game whatsoever, from what I heard that this was a um, a great adaptation of the game. Um, Again, yeah, I don't know what he's saying, but you see he excited. Um, so are you telling me to? No, you You gonna go pow right in the kisser. I'm telling you. So the very first episode introduces us to um a guy named Joel, who I call Joe, I think for the first two episodes. But a guy named Joel who has a daughter, and I forget his daughter's name. Wow. Um who has a daughter and his brother. Make a long story short, the father and daughter relationship is dynamic. You see the relationship. Um, you see who's first infected by the cordyceps, which is the older woman. You saw that for yourselves. You saw pretty much how the whole world shut down within a matter of minutes. Um, Joel brother Tommy gets locked up. Joel goes to get his brother, and all hell breaks loose. Airplane crash. Well, let me back up. Um, Baby girl is asleep. His daughter is asleep. She wakes up to the dog, the neighbor's dog, on the window, and before long, excuse me. I am just watching him throw all my DVDs of my games to the floor. I have some games. I don't have this game, The Last of Us, but I got like NBA, Mortal Kombat, things like that. Assassin's Creed. I'm watching him just throw them to the ground. So I hope he doesn't break them. Hopefully. But Sarah, that's the daughter's name, Sarah. And so Sarah wakes up by the dog. The dog wakes her up whatsoever, and Sarah goes ahead and go outside, which wouldn't be me. I would be inside, and I would stayed inside, me personally. But she went outside. She see her neighbor's door open. I guess being the curious child she is, she goes into her neighbor's house to make sure they're okay because the dog is out. She should have paid attention to that dog because that dog took off running from the house. He did not want to be in that house. That was the first cue right there. And she walked into the house and she see the husband. He's covered in blood. Then she see grandmama chomping down on the wife, on her daughter. Grandmama got some nasty stuff coming out her mouth. Fungus. At first I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that was fungus. I clearly watched it and said, what the hell is that? It didn't even dawn on me that could be fungus reaching out. Grandmama chased Sarah out. Tommy and Joel come to the rescue. Tommy bashed Grandmama's head in. They take off. The rest is history, right? From what I was told, the game actually started with Sarah dying. You just see the panic. The actors did a hell of a job in this series. Let me just say that. A hell of a job. All the actors. I'm not gonna just leave it to Pedro and Bella. I'm not gonna just leave it to. They did a hell of a job too, but the other actors, they did a hell of a job in this series, all 9 episodes. But they driving, panic. People are panicking. Airplane come down, crash. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. I don't even know what I thought. I believe it turned out to be the engine or the tire of the airplane that went through the window. Their window, because they were in the truck, in the pickup truck. Tommy and Joel separate. Sarah can't walk. Joel, has his daughter. They come across a soldier. The soldier is giving orders to kill him. Not sure why. I'm assuming when Joel said she hurt her ankle. I'm assuming that when he said we have a two citizens here, I forgot the word he used, but one injured. I'm assuming because he stated the word injured that the commander pretty much assumed that she was bitten and to pretty much kill him off. I'm assuming. It could have been just as ruthless as anybody alive kill him. I really don't know. But he shoots at them. He nicks Joel, grazed Joel, but he got Sarah, baby. He got her. He got her all in the stomach, all in the torso. And she dies. And it was so dramatic the way she died because it felt real. Especially if you've seen someone die before, get shot and they die. They don't instantly die and they suffer for a little bit and die. That was dramatic. I cried like a baby. That brought back flashbacks. That brought back flashbacks to my teen years, and I'm gonna leave it as that. I cried like a baby, and then he's consoled her. He knew she was dying, but he consoled her. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. But he knew she was dying. He knew she was about to die. He knew that type of wound she got with no doctors around, no hospital around, things like that. She can't survive. And she died. And then we jumped to freaking 20 years later. So this happened in 2003. So 20 years later is 2023. Right now, we are in 2023. I'm not gonna lie, that shit scared the hell out of me. Do you mean to tell me that there was a slight possibility? Because we experienced this pandemic starting in 2020, right? March, April 2020. What if the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic that we experience in real life, what if it was the fungi? That scared me. As soon as I saw 2023, I'm not gonna lie, in my heart, I got terrified. I think I even had a dream about it because that could have been our situation. I don't know how what word I want to use. I don't know how concrete, or I don't even think that's the right word, honestly. I think that can happen, but I don't know if there's any type of scientific proof that can happen to a human. I've heard of in ants, but I don't know as in human. But the way society is, I wouldn't be surprised if it can happen within the next 20 to 50 years. I wouldn't be surprised because humans suck. Plain and simple. 20 years later, Joe dumping bodies in the fire. These are infected dead people or just dead people. You gotta burn them. Before that, it's a little kid coming forward, not zombie-fied, but it looked like he got fear in his face, but at the same time, it looked like he's just out of it, but he's infected. And he came into the QZ, and they tested him, and he tested positive. So I wasn't sure what they was gonna do with him, and so they pretty much hyped him up and killed him. I got you. There you go. They pretty much hyped him up, saying, "Hey, we're gonna get you some new clothes, some new shoes, and new toys." Then she gave him an injection, saying, "This is gonna peach a little bit." I didn't think that was they were killing him off. Yeah. Sorry, I'm eating. They killed him off, just like that. Be careful. They killed him off. Joe had to dump his body in the fire. So that was pretty much a foretelling of how corrupt and dangerous Fedra was. Then we meet another character, Tess. So Tess is a badass. I wish her story was longer, but it is what it is. Tess was a badass, and I like her. I like the story that we got for her. One moment, y'all. He gets super excited. He's watching Busy Beavers, so he's playing with my hula hoop, hitting my hula hoop against the CDs, the game DVDs and stuff, against my storage bins because we haven't fully unpacked. So he's just doing everything at once. Also, while having his dad's flashlight flashing. This is the life of a 2-year-old. They just do everything they want to do. And you live in their world. They do not live in your world. But anywho, we meet Tess. It seems like Tess was supposed to be getting the battery, I guess, to head west, look for Tommy. The person she was getting the battery from sold the battery. Next thing you know, the building she's in pretty much explode. I guess somebody bombed it. They thought it was the Fireflies. We come to know the Fireflies, they are anti-federal. They are anti-government, And she tells them, she survives. They all do survive actually, but she survives and tell them that she's not a Firefly, but they wasn't having it. But I guess they realized she really wasn't. And she ended up getting back in contact with Joel and say, "Hey, we don't have a battery. Dude sold it." So as they go look for Dude, they run across Dude. He's dead now. We meet another character, Marlene, who I learned that's in the game. The actress that played Marlene in the show is the voice actor of Marlene in the game, which I think is totally cool. Totally cool that they got the voice actors to actually act too, you know. And I think it was a total of four though. Four voice actors who acted in this series. Which I mean outside South Park I can't think of anything else. You know, the voice acting. But excuse me. And we meet Marlene. We come to find out that Marlene, I guess, and her people shot these people. They got into a gun battle and Marlene won. Her people won. Marlene is the top person of the Fireflies in Boston. And when she see Joel, she immediately knew who he was. Now, if we back up a little bit, we see an interaction between Marlene and Ellie. Ellie don't know who she is. But later on in the series, we find out that Marlene is responsible for putting her in Fedra. And we'll discuss that later on. I'm not trying to go over everything, but I'm trying to touch bases because I don't want to be sitting here for 3 hours talking about this one particular show. So we meet Marlene. Like I said, we meet Marlene. So Marlene is injured, with the fight with the guys who had the battery, which turned out the battery was dead. So they were just trying to get over on the Fireflies too, But Marlene got shot in the stomach. One of her people got shot in the ear. Looked really disgusting. But Marlene asked Joel to take Ellie to a Fedra base so they can, I guess, do what they do. Again, not getting too ahead. Pretty sure Joel didn't know the ramifications of that. That was the plan of killing her. So they started heading out. They triggered some type of alarm or something, which caused one of the federal soldiers to approach. It's the same soldier I didn't mention, but it's the same soldier who looked like he's on drugs, and he buy drugs from Joel. But this time he wasn't having it. This time he was sticking by his guns, saying, "Hey, you guys violated this. You guys have to pay the consequences." And the consequences of escaping the QZ is you get hung, as we saw. Ellie stabbed him. Then he began to want to kill Ellie. Joe tweaked out because he saw, even though Ellie is young, he saw his daughter. So he pretty much just flipped out and beat the dog shit. Sorry, baby here. Beat the dog mess out of that federal soldier, killing him. And then they go their way. And we see all is not good. All is not good. There's different, different songs that play. You got some in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I think 60s was supposed to be, green light. 70s, red light. 70s, yellow light. 80s, red lights. 80s, there's danger. The song that came on was 80s, there's danger. As we know from episode 3. Yeah, 2 stars. As we know from episode 3, that was a way for Fred and Tess to communicate. But that's in episode 3. We find out. And that ends episode 1. Episode 2, they continue traveling, going to this base. we are first introduced to I guess they're I mean, are they clickers? I don't They're infected. Let me just say that, infected. And they're all on the ground swarming. I think they're mixed up of clickers and um stalkers, which comes later on in episode 5, the titles. But give me 1 second, y'all. He is back on it. See, my concern is he has my hula hoop, like I mentioned, and he likes to hit the TV with the hula hoop. And like I mentioned, we just relocated, so I don't we don't have a very, very, very sturdy stand right now for the TV. It's a 50-inch, 48-inch, something like that. Um, but it's stable. It's stable, but it's not as stable as it would be on a TV stand, you know. Um, and so he's hitting the hula hoop on the TV, or he's hitting the TV with the hula hoop, and it's just it makes me nervous. The TV is not gonna fall on him per se, but it still makes me nervous that I don't even want him by it. And so when he gets super excited, he goes and hit the TV with my hula hoop. Okay, so like I said, episode 2, they're going west. We meet the infected. They're squirming on the ground. That was a disgusting sight, but a well needed sight. To see what they look like. And they, like I said, they continue to go west. They go to the museum. That's when we first are introduced to clickers. Oh boy, those things look disgusting. So a clicker, if I'm not mistaken, is an affected person who has been affected, I believe, over a year, and the what I want to say, their eyes are covered in fungus, so they can't see, so they can only hear. And it was so disgusting, so disgusting. It's like freaking lettuce over their eyes and head. It was so disgusting, and oh, I don't even want to look at it right now. But they encountered 2 clickers. In the midst of them fighting, Tess get bit. She get bit in the shoulder, so which means that she's going to pretty much start changing within a 3-hour time period. 1 to 3 hour time period. And so I think the closer to the head, the shorter it takes, something like that. And she get bit. Oh, they've reached the Fedra place. Everybody in the place is dead. Fedra soldiers. You see one of the soldiers who is infected. So I'm assuming either they killed him or he started trying to kill him. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But everybody's dead. Which means either the person who killed them is still alive or they killed themselves. You know? Because everybody was dead. And actually, now I think about it, it was a couple. Yeah, so he went around. Okay, so he went around attacking. That's what it was. Because now I'm thinking, I'm trying to think back to them laying on the ground. It was more than one that you could tell that was infected. So he attacked them and infected them. I guess they started killing each other. with bullets, with bullets, and so like I said, Tessa's infected. She already knows she don't have that much time before she turns into one of them. So they have this hive mind that they know where everyone's at, all the infected. So I, as one of the affected Fedra soldiers reached out, he pretty much telepathically or mushroom pathically told other infected of what's going on, and they just start coming. The same ones who was on the ground just start coming towards Joel, Ellie, and Tess. Tess lay out some bombs, do what she has to do. One of the clickers who I learned is actually called a stalker. They're not really violent, and as you remember seeing, he walked up to her. He was very calm with it, but he was infected. And then he kissed her, and all that fungus in his mouth just came out to her. And I don't know why she didn't fight. I guess if she fight, he would get physical and swipe. I don't know. I really don't know why she didn't fight, but she didn't fight, and it's kind of nasty. With all that fungus in his mouth went into her mouth, and she was able to finally strike the match or strike the lighter, and was able to blow herself and all of those infected up. I guess fire kills them. And now Tess did. And she told Joe before she did that to take Ellie to Fred, Bill and Fred. I said, okay, who's Bill and Fred? So then we jump to episode 3. Sorry. Eating. I'm eating. Talking to you people. Great people. And watching this 2-year-old boy destroy the basement floor with CDs, CD cases, hula hoops, his bus, football, all types of crap on the floor. He didn't destroy it, it's just everywhere. It was clean, now it's not. And so episode 3, we are introduced to Bill. We see how Fedra come into different towns to evacuate people. We see that if there's not enough room, Fedra will kill them. And they're not infected, but they'll kill them. I guess you can't, if you did, you can't be infected, right? I guess that's the mindset. Awful mindset, but I guess that's the mindset. And we meet Bill. Bill is a prepper. He called himself something else. I just can't think of it. But he's a prepper. And he booby traps. We saw one infected trying to come. Was able to shoot him right in the head. Then we meet Frank. Frank falls into his trap. So he goes out there thinking, you know, he about to kill another infected. Frank screams out. Frank screams out that he's not infected. And that he's hungry. Funniest joke is the Arby's joke. I'm not giving out free food. This is not Arby's. Arby's a restaurant. Arby's don't give out free food. I never had Arby's. I heard they were disgusting, but I never personally have it, so I'm not gonna say that I'm not going to say that they are disgusting, but I've heard they are. So he feeds Fred. Fred's thankful. I really don't know how I really don't know how it led up to it, honestly, but I'm thinking maybe of him playing the keyboard did it. Um, yeah, I'm thinking of him playing the keyboard did it because I really don't understand how um how the whole relationship between Fred and Bill came about. But so that relationship came about. So this episode showed, same sex, which I found out triggered a lot of people. Did it trigger me? No. Was it kind of uncomfortable? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yes. But I wasn't triggered like, oh my god, I gotta turn this off. All this, this woke stuff, all that crap, people are saying. No. I have the understanding that there's people out here who are gay. I'm not gay. There's people who are gay. Whatever do you? It has nothing to do with me. My little rant. I'm not paying your bills. I'm not screwing you. I'm not. I don't house you. I don't care. That's between you, your loved one, and the Lord. It has nothing to do with Samantha. Anywho, um, so yeah, so it gave their history, their story of how their love flourished. Um, Bill was the type, he like I said, he's a prepper, so he was just cut and dry. Fred was more of the relax. Let's fix things. Let's get to know people. Things like that. So he ended up scheduling some type of lunch date that brought Joel and Tess there. So we saw Joel and Tess, before Tess passed away. A flashback. Um, Joel pretty much told him, "Hey, you got to do some work on some of your structure because it's not gonna last. Somebody's gonna be able to get past." And he took heed to it, but he has to be you know that prepper, so he has to be perceived that he doesn't need help. But he took going back thinking he took what Joel said seriously. Um, that's what I said, that Fred and Tess established that radio communication of the music, 60s music, good, green light, 70s music, um, caution, yo, you know, 80s music, we have a problem, red, like a stoplight. Now, you see when people run red lights, what happens? In most cases, there's crashes or you lose control. Um, yeah, green. Yeah, yeah, green. And so like I said, so they established that radio communication, and then we just go with the life, watching the life of Fred and Bill as they got older. Um, Bill got shot. Raiders came one night. Bill got shot. I thought he died. He did not die, but it looked like Fred. I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna say that because he said, okay. I was about to say that he had a stroke is the reason why he was in the wheelchair, but he made a comment. He said even before the pandemic or this crap. Oh, I forgot something. The important part for episode 2. I'm gonna go back to that. Totally forgot. I don't know how I did that, but he said before the pandemic, the doctors couldn't cure this particular thing. So that led me to think that he's probably talking about Parkinson's, so or MS, something like that. I think both of those are incurable. Pretty much that's going to take your life. So he's wheelchair bound now, and can't really walk or function like that. He needs Bill. He decides he's going to take his life, and he planning out that they're gonna do things, and then when it's time, he wants Bill to put some stuff in his drink that he has already prepared, and he'll go out. Um, Bill did everything that he asked him to do, but Bill also included other items. And instead of just putting it in his drink, Bill put it in the entire bottle. So Fred had his own medicine, and then Bill poured the wine into his cup. But like I said, Bill put stuff in the wine as well, so Fred got double. And pretty much Bill poured his, and he drank his down too, along with Fred. And then that's when Fred realized, that's when everybody realized that, Bill, what you just do? Did you just kill yourself too? And he pretty much did. He pretty much said, hey, there's nothing worth me living anymore, you know? The one purpose of him living was Fred, and Fred is about to die. So what's the real purpose of, Bill, this is Bill, what's the real purpose of me living? So they die. Then we see Ellie and Joe. I'm assuming they showed up maybe a week after that. I'm assuming. I'm assuming that I'm assuming it's a week. I'm gonna say it's a week, maybe 2 weeks. Bill left a letter and he left supplies. That was a funny letter. That was funny to me when she did that. But they went out the way they wanted to go out. And, and I boohoo. Every episode I cry. Every episode I cry. I'm gonna be honest with you. Some episodes I boohoo, some episodes I just teared up, but every one of them hit the emotions, hit the feels for me. Every one of them, every one. And so I said, what the assignment that you was on, you did your job, writers, you did your job. And so going back to episode 2, I don't know how I forgot, but I did. At the beginning of episode 2, no. At the beginning of episode 2, we meet a lady who turns out to be, I guess, a fungi specialist in Indonesia, I believe. Pakistan. I will have to go back and look, and I can't think of it right now. It's either Indonesia or Pakistan. And we meet this lady. Sorry, y'all. We meet this lady, and she, like I said, she's a fungi specialist, and she investigate the. I first I thought it was patient zero, but it's not patient zero. This person was bit by patient zero, and we never found out who patient zero was. Never found out. And this person got bit at the ankle but had fungus. This person had fungus in the mouth already, and it had grown already, and to the point when she plucked it out, it started to reach for her, and it freaked her out because that's not supposed to happen to humans. It's only, again, supposed to happen to ants. But the fact that it happened to a human, it freaked her out. And there's no cure for it. And I think in real life, there's no cure for a fungal. It's only a treatment, but I don't think it's a full cure of it. I don't believe so. Um, which that's why I say it's scary. This COVID-19 pandemic could have went totally different. But yeah, she told him to bomb. That's the only way you get rid of fire, bomb. And we saw in different parts, especially in New York. Was it New York? Yeah, New York was bomb. And it didn't stop the spread, of course. Okay, episode 4. That was episode 2 that I forgot. So episode 4, which I'm not gonna say it's the least. Well, I like the whole series, but okay, episode 4 it's the series that it's the show, the episode that I kind of could. It was a filler, in my opinion, and I hate to call something a filler, but it was a filler. It really was, and it let's see. I had to remember. So we meet Kathleen, Killer Karen Kathleen, as somebody called her. They traveling west, like I said. They going to see Tommy because they figure Tommy's in Wyoming and whatsoever. That so they arrive in Kansas City. They had to go through Kansas City because the expressways were cars, blocking the passageway. And so they had to get off and go through this actual city of Kansas City. And they were attacked by some rebels. They're not federal, so I'm gonna say they are either fireflies or just, I think they are fireflies. Yeah, they're fireflies. And they're attacked. Joel and Ellie are attacked, and pretty much Joel killed them. One of the fireflies was able to get up on Joel, catch him snoozing, which means Ellie had to come to the rescue. Now back at Bill and Frank's, I said Fred. At Bill and Frank's, Ellie found the gun. Like I said, they left all the Bill left a note with to Joel for all the supplies. You can have all the supplies. But Ellie found Frank's gun. So, like I said, Ellie had to pretty much shoot the guy who attacked Joel because he was getting the better hand. And pretty much, had she not shoot him, he would have probably killed Joel. Or, choked him to death or broke his neck. So, she shoots him, paralyzes him. He begs for his mama. While yet that was sad, brother, you out there. You just try to kill somebody. Can't really beg for your mama. You just try to kill somebody. You really can't. Not sure how that worked, but whatever. And Joel kill him. Joel kills him with his own knife. Make a long story short, Ellie paralyzed him. Joel kills him with his own knife, and so they go hiding. Kathleen, who is the top dog for the Fireflies in Kansas City, she is looking for Henry and Sam. At this point, I had no idea who Henry and Sam was, but I knew that she was looking for them and she wanted them. And she was not going to rest until she get them. So they're searching for Henry and Sam. Henry and Sam alone is running away. Pretty much trying to get out of Kansas City. in a certain part of a building, one of Kathleen's main guys, I forget his name in the game, but this actor Perry, he plays, I believe, Perry in the show, but in actuality, in the game, he's the voice actor of Joel. Remember, I said there's a few actors on here who are the voice actors. So we first saw Marlene. Now we have Perry, who is the voice actor of Joel in the game. But here in the show, he's Perry, and he is Kathleen's like right hand man. He shows her pretty much where the infected are at. We get some information that the affected later on have been down there for a while. They pretty much put on a hunt to find Henry and Sam. Ellie makes more stupid jokes from that stupid book. And they go to sleep in the building, and they wake up to Henry and Sam pointing a gun at them. Episode 5 pretty much is the Henry and Sam episode, which is another episode that made me just bawl out crying at the end. And they introduced themselves to Ellie and Joe with a gun, and we find out that the gun is not loaded. No, it wasn't never loaded. Henry tells Joe why they're looking for him. Joel calls him a rat. The doctor in episode 4 that Kathleen killed, I forgot to mention. It shows the flashback, of course. It showed when they went to go find Henry and Sam in episode 4, they found cans in the attic. Episode 5 showed them going to the attic and having those cans with them as being filled as for food. And the guy that's there with them is the doctor that Kathleen kills in episode 4. Again, this is now episode 5. And so, as they run out of food, Henry and Sam run out of food because, again, the doctor is dead by now. Kathleen killed them. They hear Joe and Ellie. They hear the car. So they hear Joe and Ellie, and they start watching and see what Joe did. Pretty much, hey, you just killed these fireflies. You're going to be my ticket out of this city. And so then we catch up to the end of episode 4 with Henry and Sam with the guns in their face. And so now we're caught up and with the story. So now, again, they introduce themselves and pretty much say, hey, we need your help to get out the city. You got guns, you got balls. I need your help. Henry's idea, what he says, a shaky idea. Henry's idea is to go through the tunnels to get out of Kansas City. They do go to the tunnels. There are no infected down there. They run across a school, underground school. Most likely, everybody there got infected. And that's what it is. I guess I would be more surprised if I saw actual fungus in there. Then, I would say, yeah, they got infected in here. But if that's the case, then they would still be in the wrong. It was no fun. I didn't see any fungus anywhere. So they make it out the tunnels, and they're almost past Kansas City, the city limits. They get shot at by somebody who is the lookout for Kathleen. And that's when the gun battle pretty much ensues. And Joel goes to investigate and kills the guy. Again, the guy was a lookout for Kathleen, pretty much saying, hey, we see them, I see them, and Kathleen, hold them off till I get there. Kathleen and her people get there. Joel takes the truck out, kills the driver. Truck crashes into a house, and then goes down a sinkhole. That's a little bit later. But crashes into the house and bursts into flames. Kathleen then wants Henry to come out so she could kill him for what he did. We found out that Sam had leukemia, and that in order to get the treatment for the leukemia, Henry had to pretty much sabotage the Fireflies, and by sabotaging, he pretty much set up Kathleen's brother, who at the time was the head of the Fireflies in Kansas City. And so, by setting him up, he got killed, which made Kathleen take over, and that's why she's hell-bent on killing Henry and Sam. Henry is about to get himself up. That's when the truck that crashed into the house and burst into flames fell into a ditch, into the hole. It opened a crater. I knew exactly. I didn't even play the game, and I knew what was about to happen. You open up the ground, and then you hear these sounds of moaning and stuff like that. I did not expect that many clickers, stalkers, infected to come out the ground. Then we meet a bloater. I did not know the name of it at first, but I said, wait a minute. What the hell is this? And so a bloater, from my understanding, is someone who's been infected, I believe, more than 10 years. So their body is now encased in fungi and it's hardened. Where the stalkers and the clickers, their face is covered or half their face is covered. And so you could just still shoot them in the head and they'll die. Well, bloater, you gotta do a lot of shooting and you gotta do a lot of shooting. And the bloater ended up ripping off Perry's head from his body. And then Ellie jumped in the car, and then a little girl, I think the actress is 9 years old in real life, and she's a gymnast, and you saw her acrobats in the car. That was horrifying. That was horrifying. As Ellie's being chased in the car by the little clicker girl, she gets out, she sees Henry and Sam are being attacked. I figured one of them got bit, maybe both of them, I figured. And we know that Sam got bit, the little boy, the baby brother. And what's wrong, man? What's wrong? You do this all the time, and mine is live right now, and so everybody hears you who's listening. They hear you. They hear you doing that. And all the clickers and the bloater, they all go to Kansas City. I guess they all run to Kansas City. That little girl clicker, she killed Kathleen. Because Kathleen was still about to kill Henry and Sam. And Ellie, Ashley, too. Because Ellie and Joel killed Brian. Brian is the one that Ellie paralyzed and Joel stabbed with his own knife. So she was hell-bent on revenge. And ended up getting everybody killed. Plus the people in Kansas City who's still there. Who are probably, because she brought the whole army with her, who are probably now undefended. Not defended. I don't know what word I want to use. No, it's not such word. Unoffended. I don't know. Who has no defense. Let me just say that. And I'm making new words up this Sunday. Look at me, y'all. Wow. And so they started heading up to Kansas City. then the scene switched to the motel room. Make a long story short, Sam showed Ellie that he was bit. He was afraid to go to sleep because he was afraid to turn. He asked Ellie to stay up with him. Ellie fell asleep. Ellie woke up. Sam is sitting at the edge of the bed. Ellie goes to embrace him. He attacks her. He is now one of those. So there's no end. He has to be put down. This is the part that made me boo-hoo cry. And every time I watch it, every time I cry, I tear up and cry because I hate it. I hate it, hate it, hate it. Henry had to kill his own brother, his little brother. And the mindset is, we almost got out. I brought you all the way. We went through all this and we survived. We almost made it. And now I have to kill you because you're not my little brother anymore. And in his mind, there is nothing left for me to live. It's similar, it's parallel actually to Frank and Bill's story. Just less graphic, of course. But Frank and Bill, they poured drugs in the wine. Well, the case here, Henry and Sam, Henry had a gun, killed Sam, that was Joel's son, killed Sam, and then turned the gun on himself and killed himself. And just that view, and then to hear Ellie, the actress Bella, make that heart-wrenching yelp at the end when he shot and killed himself, that was all too real. All too real. That was all too real. I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't have a heaven or hell to put anybody. I don't have a heaven or hell to put anyone in. But I don't know about suicide. I'm that's a permanent decision for a temporary issue. In my but I guess with that, with Henry, that wasn't a temporary issue. That was a permanent issue. That he killed his brother, which it is permanent. He killed his brother. His brother is now dead forever, and so he did a permanent. It's a permanent issue. It's not a temporary issue. His brother wasn't coming back, so I guess he felt that was the best way out. And that was gruesome to watch. Gruesome. No, I didn't like watching suicide and stuff. So, and it was suicide. And so pretty much Ellie and Joel, Ellie's starting to get the coldness, the hardness of life, She tried to save Sam with some of her own blood, but that's not the way things are set up. When you do a blood transfusion, you got a lot more work to do. So I knew when she did that, she was just trying. Of course, I knew that wasn't gonna work, but she's 14, and she did what a 14-year-old mindset would do, and think it's gonna do the job. So, the episode ends in them walking west. Walking on. Going west. Continue going west. And then, episode 6, we are reintroduced to Tommy. Tommy's back. Joel's brother. They go, like I said, west. It's a couple months later. Because now it's snow and everything like that. They run into a couple. A so nice couple, especially the wife. Beautiful couple. Funny. She's so funny. Whoever that actress is. Oh my lord. She's funny. I don't know who she is. She's funny. But the guy, her husband, I'm sure he's in other movies. I just can't remember if I watched it or not. But he's I think it's Harry Clearwater from the Twilight show, the Twilight movie. And yeah, Harry Clearwater. I think that's him. He plays, her husband, and they both did an excellent job. Their little 15 minutes, or not even 15 minutes, 5 minutes. That was beautiful. That was so funny to me. That was so funny. It made us love her. We love her, and she must be protected. But she gave a clue that it's bodies that be pounding up, some affected, some not affected. Once you cross this river, so don't cross it because you're gonna get killed. And they really had no what word I want to use. They had no faith that Tommy was alive. They pretty much just say, hey, if he crossed that river, he's dead. Plain and simple. They crossed the river, and Tommy's people in the same town, come up with horseback. Come up to them in horseback. I think it's about 8 of them. And they want to test them. They want to know why they there, and they want to test them. And they test Joel first. And I knew they was going to try to test Ellie. They had a dog who could sense it. The dog first sensed it, but then realized that wasn't it. So he did not attack Ellie. They take them back to the town because one of the people on the horseback, it's a lady, the black lady. She pretty much say, what you doing here? He's like, I'm looking for my brother. And she said, what's your name? And he said, Joel. And, we already know, later on, her name is Maria, and she's married to Tommy. So I'm pretty sure Tommy told her about Joel. So the fact that he said his name is Joel, she automatically knew, okay, this is his brother. He got to come back with us alive, And so, get back to town. Town is bustling. You got kids there, so people don't have babies, The town is bustling. It's a communist town, but it's bustling. And this episode here, it shows what word I want to use? It shows the fragility of Joel's mindset. His mind is fragile. He put on a hard shell. But once you remove that shell, pure fragile. And it showed. And he wanted Tommy to, he told the story. He told the true story. He told him that Tess was dead because at first he told him that Tess was okay. And then he told him Tess was dead. He told him who Ellie was and what's going on with Ellie, and she's immune. And he needs him to take her to Wyoming, I believe. And Joel pretty much say, hey, all I'm going to do is get her killed, I'm still thinking about my daughter, and I got another kid now under me, and I'm just going to get her killed, so let's just, can you take her? And, then he, they had to talk whatsoever, and Tommy agreed to do it, even though he already knew that his wife would not approve. And we found out that his wife is pregnant too. So definitely he made some changes. He grew up. But he's willing to take her. It may have been grudgingly, but he was willing to take her. And a little grudgingly, I would say. But after talking to his brother, he steps outside where he sees a woman who has the same haircut as his Sarah. And baby boy gets into and starts having a panic attack. This is the second one, third one. And he starts having a panic attack of seeing that lady that looked like Sarah. The lady that looked like Sarah would have been around Sarah's age had she survived. I would say that was 20 years. she would have been about 30, 35. I'm gonna put it in that area. The lady had a daughter who was around, I'll say 10, 8 to 10. Same hair. That just triggered him. You know, he still after 20 years, he still haven't got over his daughter's death. And I can't imagine. You know what I mean? I can't imagine. Especially if it was, you know, no matter which way. Let me just be real. Who wants their kid to go out? You know, kids supposed to last, you know, past us. You know, they're supposed to last past us. They're not supposed to. We're not supposed to outlive our kids, but many of us do, and a lot of times it's sad. I mean, it's sad all the time. Let me correct myself, but what I mean is a lot of times it's sad on the fact that it's sickness or it's violence. You know, yeah, and of course, Ellie doesn't want to go with Tommy. She wants to stay with Joel. Joel pretty much said no. It's the end of us. Fast forward to the next day, they're about to go, her and Tommy. Joel down there. I guess he slept on and said, hey, I can't leave this girl. And he's like, hey, it's your choice. You know, I think you need to go with Tommy, but it's your choice. And she's like, no, let's go. I'm going with you. So Tommy stayed at home with his wife. So go from there. Tommy gives him the horse. Tommy gives him the guns, and say, "Be careful," pretty much, and told him, what direction you need to go to get where he's trying to go, Colorado or whatsoever. And they go off. Joe and Ellie, beautiful pictures. Beautiful pictures. The sunset, sunrise, things like that. Beautiful pictures. It's a 5-day hike, so beautiful pictures. And they get to, I believe, the University of Colorado, and everybody's gone. For Fedra, everybody's gone. Don't know how that happened, but it happened. Don't know why they moved them, but they moved them. Did some raiders show up? 4 guys. They pretty much, I guess, looking for stuff, and they get into a combat with Ellie and Joe, and one of the guys attacked Joe. Joe ended up breaking his neck, but at the same time, the guy stabbed Joe in the stomach with a piece of the broken bat, which left a gaping wound. And so Joe and Ellie get on the horse. They roll away. Further down the path. Joe falls over unconscious because, yes, he lost a lot of blood. Many people say he should have kept that bat in his stomach. I don't know. Not a doctor. I mean, I would say common sense is to keep it in there, because if you take it out, the blood just fall out. But keep it in there. But I also think had he kept it in there, it would still get infected by the bat, the contents of the bat. So he was going to be screwed no matter what. Mango! He was going to be screwed no matter what. Let's be honest. And he falls off the horse. He's unconscious. And Bella pretty much not calling about her real name. Ellie pretty much is like, I don't know what to do. I need you to wake up. Then we jump to episode 7. Episode 7, we see that Ellie was able to bring him into an abandoned home. And Joe pretty much told her to go back to Tommy's, that he was going to die. And she didn't leave, but, he tried to rough her up. And she, like I said, she didn't go. But then it turned to her story, her backstory, and her backstory was a beautiful story. It's another quote unquote same sex story. Ellie loved her best friend and pretty much was in love with her best friend, who is a girl. And it showed the mango. It showed the early stages of her. Well, it showed her the stages in Fedra, and pretty much getting bullied and all that stuff because of her friend Riley. And then Riley show up. Riley, I guess, left for a few weeks, and she became a Firefly. And she showed up, and her and Ellie started to make their way to a mall, which comes to fruition later on in the show. But they run across a dead person. I thought the person had fungi, but I guess that was just throw up and drugs, which was equally nasty to look at. But and then they took his alcohol and drink after it, which is double disgusting. Double disgusting. I don't even think a typical teenager nowadays would do something crappy like that. But yeah, they took his alcohol and was drinking his alcohol. They went to the mall. The mall, I knew this from here in this spoiled town, that the mall is where Ellie got bit at. So now it made sense that, okay, Ellie was at the mall with Riley, but Ellie's still alive. So they already told me that Riley died. Riley must got bitten and died, and we know that happened. She showed her different places in the mall, the four or five wonders, which include the carousel, the arcade games, the book, and things like that, the Halloween stuff. Ellie was very enthusiastic about learning the moving stairs, the escalator. She loved it. Never seen before in her life. They went to the photo booth to take some pictures, that had very low ink, but it was still able to print out what it could, and it still showed a decent picture. It was the color quality of it sucks. But as they in the arcade room playing Mortal Kombat, the camera zoom away. I already knew, okay, danger is near, and so the camera ended up showing, an affected person waking up in one of the stores. So they didn't clean up the store that good. But I'm gonna find out also that Riley now become a Firefly. Her camp is at the mall. She sleeps at the mall instead of sleeping in, of course, Fedra, because Fedra hate Fireflies. Fireflies hate Fedra. And so they're at the mall. They're having fun whatsoever. Then the truth come out that Riley's leaving, and Ellie have a fit whatsoever of abandonment. Everybody leaves her. They either die or they just leave her. So she just felt that this was another one. And next thing you know, the affected come out, and they get bit. Both of them get bit. Riley get bit in the hand. Ellie get bit in the arm. And again, from my understanding, Ellie should have turned first. But as we found out in episode 9, Ellie said pretty much that, they was gonna sit there and just, when it happened, then when they turned, then they can kill each other or something like that. But Ellie never turned because Riley got bit in the hand. It would took much longer for her to turn than to when Riley turned. Then when Ellie turned. Ellie's supposed to turn faster, but Ellie never turned. So then God, I just forgot her name that quick. Riley. Riley turned. And so pretty much Ellie had to kill her. It didn't show it, but we don't need our hands walked to understand the story. We shouldn't. We really should. If we do, then we gotta get together. Um, and then it flashed back to um where her and Joel was at, and it showed that she never left. She just had she just spaced out and think about her past. Think about how her and Riley didn't leave each other. You know, her and Riley didn't leave each other, so she wasn't gonna leave Joel. And so she found some needle thread that was not clean, and she started to stitch up Joel, the hole he had. And that's episode 7. Episode 8, he has a little attitude right now. Oh, you hear him, y'all. I know you hear him. His little attitude. Mommy is talking and you have an attitude right now. He's just throwing stuff. If you guys could see this, he's just throwing stuff. He has a little attitude. What's wrong, little attitude boy? Attitude boy. Episode 8, we meet David. David is a preacher. David's a cult preacher. Stop. I'm trying to knock over my stuff. This is why I don't want. Get away. Get away. Yeah. This one thing he does now, people, he shakes my desk to try to knock over my microphone, my lamps, everything like that. He tried to knock them over. And it's very aggravating because it's just aggravating. Anywho, we meet David. He's a preacher, a cult preacher, and he pretty much is a cannibal. Ellie shoots at some animals. She pretty much, try and get food for her and for Joel or whatsoever. She missed on the rabbit because she fell. I don't know what that was, but she got a deer and she was able to kill a deer, but the deer ran off before it died. And David and his right hand man, John, maybe John, I don't know, but all I know is he is the voice actor of who is he the voice actor of? He is the voice actor of Tommy, if I'm not mistaken, in the game. And so again, here go another voice actor. They see the deer, and then Ellie come out and say, "Hey, pretty much get away from my food," and say pretty much get away from my food. And so there you go. There you go. And they like, hey, we could trade you some things because we hungry. And she like, what about medicine? I need medicine. I need, penicillin. And they already knew then that, okay, this is the guy that killed their guy. But that's ahead. That's future. But they knew that she is the kid that's with the guy that they were looking for. That they heard about and was looking for. So John go get James. His name is James, not John. James. James go get the penicillin. He comes back a few hours later. At that same time, David seeing her talking and talking to Ellie, pretty much saying, "Hey, I'm a preacher. I'm this and that, this and that." And then James came back with the penicillin, and David pretty much exposed and told Ellie who she was and who Joel was, and how back in episode 6 the same guy that stabbed Joe, that Joe broke his neck, is the guy. Those guys were part of David's team, and so pretty much how it's full circle. And but he gave Ellie the penicillin. James, David told him to give it to him. So he gave Ellie the penicillin. Ellie takes it back to give it to Joel. She gave him very large doses and in the affected area, which, again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the area per se, what she's supposed to do, but I do know that at least make sure you get the air bubbles out. um, but I think that's only to the vein. I believe that's what it is. And so she gave him penicillin. And she go feed the horse, because I was wondering, man, what's up with this horse? How is this horse eating? And she make a long story short, because baby boy is getting aggravated down here. So she go outside to go hunt again, and she see the birds, so she knew that people was coming, and it was David and his people. She ran back in. She told Joe, here go the knife. She gave Joe more penicillin. Said, here go the knife. No, if anybody come down here, it's not me. Kill him. And did he not kill him? David, she tried to distract and try to lure them away, and she did an okay job, but she ended up getting the horse killed, shot and killed, and she got unconscious. She passed out and became unconscious. They took her back to their location, while David and two people took her back to the location, while three of David's people stayed looking for Joel. One of the guys went directly into the house that Joel was in, and then the camera panned and showed that Joel wasn't laying where he was laying at first. So at that time, we knew that the penicillin has been working, and now he feels better, you know? And Joel come out the closet or out of the back area and pretty much stabbed dude in the neck. It was a horrific kill, but it was a necessary kill and an applauded kill. Um, he then attacked the second one, and then lured the third one to the second one and attacked them. He bound both of them up and started questioning them. The second one who was attacked, he ended up stabbing him in his kneecap, which I can only think is the most horrible stab ever. Stabbed him in his kneecap, and he asked questions, and the guy gave the answers, but Joe killed him anyway. And then the other person who was like, "How dare you? Ooh, oh my God!" Ooh. Joe clobbered him across the head with a pipe, killing him. Uh, so he killed all three of the guys that remained, that David says to stay. Then we go back to the facility, and Ellie pretty much is offered food. She don't eat. David realized that she done called on to the secret. She saw a human ear in the cage, so she realized that they were cannibals. Um, Going back, at one point in time in the very beginning of episode 8, um, it's a little girl. She was doing a lot of crying, and I believe that that's her dad, the one that Joel broke his neck, but the one who stabbed Joel. I think that's her dad, and I personally think they were eating her dad, because that meat did not look like deer meat, and next thing you know, they come walking in with the deer. So we knew that was not deer meat. That was pure human meat, and that was probably her dad. And man, he bitch smacked her too. He didn't have to smack her that hard at that time, because she's like, let's kill them both. Man, he smacked her so hard. I couldn't see that. Uh, no. I couldn't see that. I couldn't see it. And I mean, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see that happen to my child. You're not about to bitch smack my child. I'm not about to be in no cult, you know. But you're not about to disrespect me and my child. You're not about to do that, or my family whatsoever. And yeah. So she pretty much, read him his rights, and then it turned sick. The conversation turned sick. He started talking about grooming her, and how pretty much she could be on his side as like one of his wives and stuff. This girl's 14 years old. Dude, you're at least 40. Why are you sitting here trying to groom a 14-year-old? That's how sick it turned. It turned real sick. And Ellie wasn't falling for it. Ellie broke his hand, broke his finger, and of course, he threatened to kill her, threatened to consume her, cut up in little pieces. I'm trying to think. Was there another flashback? I believe there was another flashback. I believe, the flashback showing Joel trying to find where Ellie is at, what building Ellie is at. But then he finds, a place. He see the blood. So I don't know if he think that's Ellie blood or the horse blood, But then he go in there and he see the horse on the floor dead. He see Ellie's book bag. He recognized her book bag. And then what's hanging up in the background is three dead bodies, and their skin is skinned off, and their head is chopped off. But those are clearly human bodies that was skinned off. So yes, they are down to a certain amount of food. Those three bodies. Wow. I'm curious who those three bodies are. If they were eating the dad, I wonder who those other three bodies are. Party members. I don't know. Um. Then the camera pans back to Ellie, and now James and David are trying to attack her. She bites David. She tells David that he's infected. She's infected. Now he's infected. David had a butcher knife. I don't know if he tried to scare her intentionally or miss, but she got the knife and was able to whack James across the neck, killing him instantly. I don't know how David missed, but he pulled out his gun and started shooting at her as she escaped out the cage. But she didn't get hit. But she ran to another room. David came out there. He pretty much started doing that, talking that weird stuff, and again grooming. He started talking that weird stuff, and Ellie threw something at him, which caused things to set on fire. And he didn't put the fire out. He just let the fire consume the wood, which I wonder, did it consume the whole building? They weren't living in. You know what I mean? And from what I heard, that was the big boss fight in the game. David fighting Ellie. And so pretty much he got on top of her, and he's like, that's the best part about it, the fight. I love the fight. I love the fighting back. That's what aroused me, which was sickening. It's sickening on so many levels. It's sickening on a perverted level, of course, because he's saying this to a 14-year-old. But it's also sickening as a human because you're saying you are aroused when those who you take advantage of can't fight back, who are trying to fight back but can't succeed. You're aroused by that. That's sickening as itself. So, yeah, I wonder if my hubby know I'm still alive. I wonder. I wonder. He may not know. He may not know. I wonder if he know I'm still alive because he's calling. And I wonder if he know. If you're listening, hubby, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. But Ellie ended up getting a knife from him, and she butchered him. She cut his head off or chopped him at least 20 times. He's dead. The perv is dead. She run out hysterical. She run to Joel. She don't even recognize that's Joel. Joel calmed her down, and he said, "I got you, baby girl." When he said that, I broke. From what I heard, that's the part of the game that everybody cried. And again, the actors, they they do their part. They do their part, and that's where it cut at. That's episode 8. That's where it cut at. And so I was nervous about episode 9. I missed a couple of weeks. Like I said, we relocated. I missed a couple of weeks, so I was a little nervous about episode 9. But episode 9 pretty much continued from episode 8, and pretty much continued for episode 8. Ellie is zoned out. You can tell she's out of it now. She's out of it. She's not a kid anymore. She's 14, but she's not a kid psychologically anymore. She's out of it. And Joel trying to cheer her up, trying to get to her, and Ellie is not having it. But they run to some giraffes, and I found out, well, 2 things. One, the giraffes are a known part of the game. 2, those giraffes were real life giraffes. That scene was filmed in a zoo. I'm not sure where. I believe in the States or Canada, but I believe in the States. I want to say Pennsylvania or New York. I want to say somewhere up there. But those were real giraffes. Real giraffe scene, which is awesome. I'm not afraid of giraffes, but I would look at one from afar back and be like, okay, next, cause yeah, not I'm okay with wildlife, for the most part, but giraffes, to me, they're dinosaurs. To me, I don't think they're in their DNA. They are actually a derivative of a dinosaur, but something is there. Something. I know they're a derivative of a horse, but something is there. Something. The long necks. Something. But anywho, we see dinosaurs. We see giraffes. So they start talking. As they lead the giraffes, they start talking about them. And Joel confessed that he tried to kill himself after Sarah died. Ellie confessed that she wasn't the only one in the building, that Riley was in the building with her, and she had to kill Riley when Riley turned. And as they talking and expressing themselves and starting to get, more and more comfortable, a flash bomb came out, and it is Marlene and her people, and they take them, separate them, and when Joel come back to, he realized Ellie is being prepped for surgery because she's immune, to remove some samples from her brain, inside her brain, that could be a cure, which means they have to cut her brain open. Not her skull, her brain open, which means she is going to die. And they did not even, Marlene said she didn't even tell her what's going on. So they didn't even tell her they was going to kill her. And Joel wasn't having it. Joel murdered everybody in that building to save Ellie. Me personally, I don't think he was wrong on that part. I think he was wrong on the part of lying to her on the aftermath of how they died. He lied to her on the whole story. But I don't think he was wrong for his action of killing everybody, because she clearly said to Joel before that happened, I don't know what, they probably gonna take some blood, but after that, I'm going with you. even if it's to the sheep ranch, even if it's to the moon. To me, others may disagree, but to me, that sounds like, hey, I plan on living after what they do to me. Now you got other people saying, hey, she's willing to give up her life. I don't see that. Now, if that's later on in the game, part two, okay, but as of right now, again, I didn't play the game. I don't play the game. I probably won't play the game. I don't see that. I don't see her being willing to give up her life. I don't see that. And like I say, he killed everybody. He even killed the doctor who's supposed to do the surgery. I didn't know, but doctor is the doctor has a daughter. And again, I now said this is a spoiler. There's a whole spoiler thing. The daughter, is the same person who's going to kill Joel later on in the game. So I wasn't spoiled when I found out, but because my thing is, even if you tell me something, I still want to see it for myself, you know. Um, but hey, she get retribution later on, so this may happen in season 2 or in season 3. Joel gonna die, and according to what I heard about the game, she kills Joel right in front of Ellie. So I don't know if they're gonna show that, because I know the actress Bella Ramsey said she does not want a death scene to be played in front of her of Joel. She don't want him to be killed in front. She don't want him to be killed in front of her in this show. But the game is otherwise, so we'll see how they go when it comes. But yeah, so that was the big thing when everybody realized that he killed the doctor. That automatically made those who played the game, made those, made them understand and like, oh, okay, here we go, part 2. For those who did not play the game, all we saw was a doctor. You know, just be honest. All we saw was the doctor, and he let the 2 nurses live. But I watched something on New Rockstars. There was a 3rd nurse all the way in the back. I missed it when I watched this episode. But when I go back to it, you clearly see her standing in the back. It's a 3rd nurse back there. I don't know who the nurse is. Rumor is that that's the doctor's daughter, Abby. Don't know. Don't know. But yeah, so he told her a lie, which was totally false, of course. Lie, false, same thing. And she know he's lying. She know he's lying, but she's like, okay, let's go. And that's where the episode ended. So like I said, this was a great series. All 9 episodes was great. All 9 episodes was great. I don't have I don't have, again, all the actors did their job, even down to Kathleen. But her, you know, I guess you look at her voice or you listen to her voice and she doesn't sound commanding. She doesn't sound demanding. She doesn't sound like that type of leader. But that's where people get fooled at, because it be the soft voice ones too that wreak havoc. And so I commend all the actors on here. They did a hell of a job. This was great. The writing was great. The directing was great. Everything was great to me. Everything. I'm giving this series a 10 out of 10. The episodes that I loved the most was episode 2 and episode 8. I know, I know it sounds crazy for episode 8. He's a perv. Whoever this actor is, I believe he was also in the Game of Thrones, which I watched some seasons and some seasons I missed. I did not know that was her when I watched when she was in it. I did not know that Pedro Pascal was in Game of Thrones, period. I must have missed that season. I got so disheartened regarding that Red Room. That Red Room episode, I that tormented me, and I pretty much did not want to watch any more of that. And so I watched here and there. I didn't watch a full season after that. I watched the first 4 seasons or first 3 seasons. Um, but yeah, so as a non-gamer, I play games, but I'm not a gamer. I'm going to probably do that one day. I'm probably going to sit here and start playing the game. I can't do it now. I got a young one here who makes all this noise, so I can't do it now. Maybe one day, in the future. He goes to school. He's only 2 now, so we got some years. He goes to school. I know I'm gonna be working, doing my YouTube thing then. You know, God willing, right? I might dabble. I might dabble. But as somebody who didn't play the game, I'm thankful for being able to watch this episode or watch this series and understand that many gamers appreciate this series as well. I'm not gonna hold you up longer because Mr. Man here is over here by me making noises, and it's been an hour and 48 minutes, 49 minutes. So I'm gonna end this live. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. If you're still with me, don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't know how many people tuned in. I can't tell yet. I don't know how that works. I am still getting used to this. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm out. Wait. I still have to drop The Last of Us episode 8 and 9. And I have a movie, Bullet Train, I need to drop. I have that 90s show. You remember back in the day we used to watch the 70s show? I have the 90s show. I watched the first 6 episodes. There's 9 episodes. Or 10 episodes. There's 10 episodes. So I have to watch 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's 10 episodes. I watched the first 6. Those need to drop. Again, I'm backed up. I'm totally backed up. I have Daredevil episodes 6 and 7 I need to edit. So all these I need to edit. I'm editing right now The Last of Us episode 8 and 9. I hope to have that uploaded by tomorrow. I hope, fingers crossed. Stop. I hope to have that edited and uploaded by tomorrow. I hope to have Bullet Train uploaded, edited, and uploaded by Wednesday. And the 90s show, episodes 1 through 6 by Friday. And maybe Daredevil, episodes 6 and 7 by next Sunday. That's my goal. So we'll see. Okay? Love you. Bye.